What was once the Polk County Courthouse now serves as the Polk County History Center and houses the Historical Museum and Library. The museum serves Polk's community through special events, volunteer opportunities, and educational programs. More details are coming up next on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Tina Mann, and joining me in the studio today is Myrtis Young, the Historic Preservation Manager with the Polk County History Center.
Happy New Year, Tina.
Happy New Year. It is 2020 and I can't even believe it. I don't know where the last 20 years went, but this marks a very important year and we'll get into that later. But let's start out with what's happening in January.
Okay.
First up,
very important month for us. We are going to be, as we've mentioned on a couple of our programs, commemorating the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote.
Thank goodness.
We are going to open a new exhibit at the History Center that is about the 19th Amendment. It is just a very robust exhibit that gives you the history of the suffrage movement, features women who participated in this movement, these brave women.
They really were.
We have talked about them in reading their bios and doing their research. They were pretty brave. It's going to be a great exhibit to take a look at. We have some interactive pieces to give us an opportunity to think about our own, the ways we think about things, and it's just going to be a great exhibit. It opens on Thursday, January 9th at 6 o'clock in the evening. It begins with the presentation in the 1908 the historic courtroom, and we will feature a dramatization which will actually be performed to open the play, in the beginning of the play, and it features one of Florida's earliest first women congressmen, Ruth Bryan Owen. J. Lenore Bressler is going to be acting out that role, and then following that, we're going to have the trial of Susan B. Anthony. Now, we've talked about the trial of Susan B. Anthony. Why was she on trial?
Right.
She was on trial because she voted illegally, and she was charged, found guilty, and she was sentenced to pay $100.
Which is a lot back then.
A lot of money back then. This is a collaboration with the League of Women Voters and the Harrison School of the Arts, and the Harrison students are actually going to be the performers in the play. The exhibit will open that evening with the reception hosted by the League of Women Voters.
I think it's important to note invitations went out in December, and that very first evening is actually at capacity at this point, but people will have two other opportunities to register for both January 10th and January 11th to see the same reenactment and the same, play with regard to Susan B. Anthony.
Correct.
So if they're interested or they need more information, just give you guys a call and they'll let you know what's happening. So what are we doing for the kids in January 2020?
Our young learners, we always try to create learning opportunities for them that coincide with the exhibits that we're opening or the history that we're featuring at a particular time. So the Curators of Curiosity are going to be making little suffragette rosettes, and they will learn what that means and what that's about. And I've seen them. They're really quite cute. And the colors of the suffragettes in the United States, that's purple, gold, and a cream color. So they'll be reproducing their own little suffragette rosette.
Very cool. And I am assuming the book for History Time Tots also has something to do with this?
It does. I am really excited. Our Curator of Education, Abigail Davis, has selected Chelsea Clinton's book, 13 American Women Who Changed the World. So our little 5-year-old kids and younger will be learning about women who changed the world.
That is awesome. And my very favorite thing about you guys is how you're always introducing new programming, rethinking the wheel, etc. Last year you guys had the Out of the Archive series, and this year, just to go along with everything, you're going to have a new speaker series. So why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Oh, I am so excited for everybody that we have this opportunity to present this program. So our speaker series for 2020 is going to be called Democratic Dialogue, or it is entitled, the theme is Democratic Dialogue. All of the programs are themed to give us opportunities to think about an engaging or an engaged voter public, to give us an opportunity to think about some areas of our diversity and our differences, to think about it, talk about it, and actually possibly even start moving away from this very severe polarization that has occurred in our country. 2020 is important because it is the commemoration of the 19th Amendment, but it's also an important national election year. We are so happy to be able to announce to everybody that we've been selected by the Florida Humanities Council to host a traveling Smithsonian exhibit that is Democracy, Voices, and Votes. And although we'll have the exhibit in October, it'll be with us from October to December, in being selected as a host site for this exhibit, we are encouraged to plan our programming around the theme of the exhibit. And as a part of being selected for this process, we have been given the opportunity to work with a couple of partners in the state, well, national and state, as a resource to help us in program planning. So if I can tell you a little bit about that, one of the organizations was founded by Liz Joyner in Tallahassee, and her organization is called Village Square. Village Square has been working for several years in creating programming and dialogue and opportunities for people from very diverse backgrounds and very diverse opinions and very diverse orientations to come together and talk in a safe place and just try to gain an appreciation of our differences. So Liz Joyner, through the Village Square credentials, has helped us create this program for our democratic dialogue. The first one in January will be actually an opportunity to visit our exhibit, not the Smithsonian exhibit that's coming in October, but our exhibit that we're opening that will be about the 19th Amendment. So our visitors will tour the exhibit, and then we'll have an opportunity to talk about it together and about this particular time in history in 1920, but not only from that perspective, but how we are different today, how things have changed and how things have stayed the same. So that's the way we start in January, and we will continue all year. Another resource that we'll be working with to create one of our programs for the Democratic Dialogues is an organization that's known nationally as Better Angels. And I would just encourage everybody who is a resident of Polk County to look them up. Better Angels is an organization that developed in 2016 by a group of people after the election. They said, you know, let's talk about it. Let's bring people together and talk. So they bring people together, and it's typically a blue-red gathering, and we learn how to listen to other people's preferences, their political persuasions, and get an opportunity to get to know each other and have an appreciation of our differences. And that's what this next year is all about. We hope to be able to accomplish the objective of Better Angels and Village Square, and that is bringing people together to start minimizing or correcting some of the polarization that has come about in our country. All this has been made possible for the History Center through a Florida Humanities Council grant in partnership with the Smithsonian.
It sounds fantastic. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's very polarized. It's very sometimes hostile. And I think if people would just be able to take a step back and listen to each other, maybe they can sometimes realize they're on the same page, just saying different words. So I think that's awesome. And also in 2020, the book club is coming back with a new face, a new title.
Oh, it is. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk about that. Book Banter is going to be, it's Book Banter, Politics at Play. And so we have selected books. Some of them were recommended by the Smithsonian to complement the exhibit that's coming, and then some have been choices that we've made. One of them that will come mid-year, I've just completed reading, and it's just been a fascinating read. It's a book that's entitled, it's about the Founding Fathers and those 4 primary gentlemen who created the Constitution. Wow. And it's called The Quartet. So there'll be books like that that we'll be looking at all year and talking about. It's going to be in the evenings on Thursday, early evening, 5:30, and it'll be a recommended book. Have a discussion, have a little opportunity, have a cup of coffee and light refreshments, and continuing to keep us focused on from whence we've come from the Constitutional Convention to 2020 and getting ready to approach toward the semi-quincentennial that in 5 years we'll be celebrating the 250th anniversary of our nation.
That's pretty impressive. So we only have a little bit of time left, but so we have our normal programming, as always, architectural tour, which is on the 18th, and the cemetery tour, which is going to be on the 4th this year. Or this month, and this year. It's a new year.
It's a new year.
But I did want to speak briefly about both the Tin Can Tourists and the new genealogy series. So why don't we talk quickly about the Tin Can Tourists?
That is just such a fun little event that happens at the History Center. We became interested in it. Oh my goodness gracious, Tina, when was that? Several years ago.
Yes, when we had the exhibit.
When we had the 100th anniversary, I guess, of the opening of the Dixie Highway. Right. And we created the exhibit, the Tin Can Tourism exhibit. And then, lo and behold, we discovered there are people who actually travel around in those precious little teardrop trailers. They decorate them, they're extremely fun and whimsical. And so since then, they come to Bartow every year. So January 18th, from 10 to 3, our little Tin Can Tourists will be circled around the History Center, and they are just so fun and whimsical. So I invite everybody to come out and take a look and enjoy them. They open their doors and let you peek in.
And they are cool. They're so cool. And it's just a fun time to visit. Bartow, it's usually cooler, so it's definitely a great time to come out. And I know Preston's excited over the genealogy and research historian over there about a new genealogy series he's going to be doing monthly this year.
He is. We are so excited to offer this opportunity to everybody. Preston Petermeyer is our genealogy and research historian, and he has created a year-long series of opportunities to delve into your genealogical research. And the series will begin with Preston. He has a program on January 25th at 10 a.m. and he will actually lead that discussion on just how do you get started.
Yeah, well, he does great, and I know there's a lot of people interested, so 2020 is going to be a fantastic year, and I thank you so much for coming out today.
And thank you too.
Polk County has a rich history and heritage, and the Polk County History Center is continuously thinking of new ways to help Polk residents experience that history. The museum's collection includes natural and cultural objects related to Polk and the greater Central Florida area that represent our history from pre-Columbian to present-day eras. The artifacts on display at the museum represent individuals, cultural groups, and events significant to the region. Located at 100 East Main Street in Bartow, the History Center is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. For more information about exhibits and events, you can check them out on the web at polkhistorycenter.org or give them a call at 863-534-4386.